Urouge, or should I say Urouge. One man whom we know barely anything about. He's like a mystery. But one thing that I could tell you about him is that I believe he will be extremely grateful when he sees the Straw Hat Pirates. But before we get into the details, how about we cue up that intro?
Okay, oh yeah, okay. Urouge, he gonna be extremely grateful. He gonna see his Straw Hats, he said he's thankful. Yeah, because they freed up Sky Island, liberated many of the liberators. No, Urouge is not a hater. He's gonna walk up to them, but he's a stranger. But he's grateful, and he is thankful. He gonna say thank you to the Straw Hats. Watch the video, enjoy the vibe. If you like the video, don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe.
So, Urouge, the man known as the Mad Monk. He's a mad monk, right? That means that he has to worship somebody, something, a being, an entity from the history that he reads, right? And that he studies. As you know, we've been to Skypiea, an arc that foreshadowed and hinted at so much, yet barely gave us any information at all. The land that we first heard of the gods within the One Piece world, and also the first time we have heard of someone whom referred to themselves as a god. This individual being Enel, whom Luffy and the Straw Hats defeated and drove out of Skypiea. Many wonder exactly how and why Enel referred to himself as a god. Could this have been foreshadowing that he was one of the gods that was worshipped by the Skypieans due to his devil fruit? His abilities resembling the god of thunder? Or was he trying to be the god of thunder, making him a false god? As we know, devil fruits sometimes have hidden abilities and are not as upfront as we typically believe that they are. Like Luffy's devil fruit, the name and abilities were hidden to us until the final battle in Wano. Basically, I'm trying to say that Enel was an imposter whom believes he is more than what he is. And Urouge might have been one of the first people to see this manic episode and thinking that Enel showcased. Enel being someone whom gives the characteristics of a sociopath. If you are unaware of what that is, it is a mental health condition in which a person consistently shows no regard for right and or wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others. As we know, Urouge is known as the Mad Monk. We have seen him praying and he wears a black robe. A monk is someone whom is a member of a religious community of men typically living under vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. I believe that Urouge and Enel were a part of the same community. This is said due to Enel having individuals from b.d.a as his priests. As we know, we can tell these individuals apart from the other Skypieans from the size of their wings. Within this story, we see that Enel is 39 years old and Urouge is 47. That is an 8-year difference. With this age gap, I could see Urouge being Enel's superior within the monk community, Urouge being the individual teaching Enel the beliefs and how to worship the god of thunder that they believe in. And the reason I think that the god of thunder is so significant within these individuals from b.d.a is because they're on top of clouds. As we know, thunder in the real world comes from clouds. Like we hear the thunder and we see the lightning within the clouds. We don't see it just on the earth, we see them in the sky, where these individuals live in the One Piece world. Enel went off of the deep end and believing that he was the god that ruled over the Sky Islands. I could see Urouge feeling extreme guilt due to his mentee or student's actions. It is a common occurrence for a teacher or mentor to feel guilt for the actions that their student has done. We've seen it with Bang and his student Garu from One Punch Man. And I just want to let you guys know there is a spoiler warning if you guys are not caught up to the story of One Punch Man. Bang being the one that wanted to stop his student, but ultimately he was not able to do so, relying on Saitama to do so. With this being said, I believe that Urouge tried to stop Enel, but wasn't able to. Enel was said by Oda to have a 500 million berry bounty if he was to be on the seas and not the islands residing in the sky. On the other hand, Urouge had a 108 million berry bounty during the pre-time skip when we saw him on Sabaody. thus making Enel stronger than Urouge. Although Luffy was not as strong as Enel, his devil fruit abilities countered Enel's, one having a body of rubber while the other utilized electricity. We don't know much of where Urouge is and where he has traveled, but we have seen that he has traveled to the Sky Islands after sailing on the seas, which makes me believe that he could have traveled to Skypiea, confused as to why they were not living in fear anymore, wondering who could have defeated the terrorizer of the Sky Islands, asking citizens, walking around and stumbling upon the amusement park named after the marksman of the Straw Hats crew, which also has a statue of the long-nosed man himself. Thinking of this, I could only imagine that Urouge at that moment being brought to tears, thankful that someone beat him to driving Enel off of the islands and in the skies. As I said before, Urouge is masked in mystery, his whereabouts, his beliefs, his upbringing, and his reason as to why he came down to the blue seas. But one thing I know for certain is that he will be extremely grateful to Luffy and the Straw Hats. And when this happens, just know who told you first. It's your boy Young Usopp, and I'm gone.
On your feet, yeah, that's so good.